How many times is enough? Well, it depends what it's about. If it's about producing good results in your life, fruitful things in your life, then keep going until you get it. Because when you get it, it won't be enough then either. Again, I don't want to put that in the framing of that being a negative thing, but I want to prosper that as growth, okay? So growth is going to show up as growth. It shouldn't show up as decay or anything else. No deterioration. Growth is growth. You see a tree, it begins one size, it becomes another size. There's a lot of references to the mighty oak, and when you think about an oak tree and you think about how it starts, well, the design was already there in the beginning. So the beginning for us, where the design is in our head and what the things we're thinking about. So I want us to be thinking about our thoughts. What kind of thoughts are you having? What kind of results are they producing? If you dwell particularly on thoughts that are negative or on past hurts, then you might be leading into the next actions of trying to comfort those thoughts, and it may not be in a good way. It could be indulging in the wrong things, like the wrong foods, the wrong drugs, the wrong medications, or overdoing the medications just to give yourself some feeling of comfort from a thought. Now, if you were sitting, let's say, on your couch in front of a television, and this thought created all those chain of events where you were just continually doing more negative things, who's thinking for you? Why does that thought have control over you? The one thing I remember from the film industry, I didn't like this. If I could fight it, I would fight it of hard, really, really hard. And it was this saying that was so true that I have full respect for it. There are no victims, only volunteers. I don't know what that means to you right now. If it means something to you right now, it just means, yes, you are worth it. You are worth more. You are worth greater things. Especially if you're compromising yourself in a situation where you know you could do better, you should do better, and not because anybody's bad. I don't want you to start thinking that you have to make people out to be bad, or situations or organizations in order to do what you just got to do. You got to be in a new place because the tribe you're with now isn't working with you. If we're talking about work, look for new work. Look for your next tribe. You doing what you love? Well, get closer to doing what you love. If you're just thinking that you can't do what you love, you don't have the right to do what you love, you're not worthy to do what you love, that's just you thinking, right? You're just being the victim. The truth is that you have the full strength to think otherwise. And if you started to think from I can't to I can, you'd be surprised, and you do deserve that surprise to see those results. My very first video for YouTube was called What Do You Want? And I'm asking myself today, what do I want? And I'm asking you today, what do you want? Okay, for me, I'd like to produce more videos, and so far I've produced videos. I think that's great because it shows me that from a thought of doing and thinking that I can, results occurred. And if I just stayed in that place, it would have been agonizing. To know that you are using all that energy to think about how you can't do something when you can use that same amount of energy to think about how you can, well, that's something very powerful for us to be observant of. So when we go to bed tonight, or if we're just kind of just sitting there, maybe in autopilot doing what we're doing, let's take an inventory of the thoughts that are in our head. I'm a big subscriber or prescriber to meditation, but that's just because that gives your brain an opportunity to just start to sort things out, what's useful, what's not useful, and then it does keep you open, that expression of being an empty cup or an empty vessel to be filled. So when you think about that filling, the filling is the good stuff, and from the good stuff you pour, the outpouring. So sometimes meditation is just a very, very nice way of emptying the cup being the all the thoughts that are contained in your mind, just so you can be left with the fine gold. Predominantly because you want to be left with the fine gold. That's the beauty, that's the value, that's where the pricelessness is. It's not in the thoughts of how we can't, it's not in the thoughts of it won't work, it's just can't be. Nothing good can come from there. So I don't know what kind of ass whooping you need to get your thoughts into a better shape, but a lot of times if we're not thinking right, it's because we're not having maybe a good view on ourselves, and it may not even be happening to us consciously. I heard one time a whisper, and it was of my own self. But it was almost like it was me saying the truth about what I thought about life. And it was very sad to hear that thought, and it almost was like a whisper. But when I caught that whisper, I was like, how could this be producing good results in my life? I want to think the opposite. And you know what? Sometimes, guys, it's as simple as hearing yourself thinking you're poor. Why didn't you think you were rich? You're rich in the fact that you have a thought. You have a thought and you can choose your thoughts. That's rich. That's mighty rich. I don't know how much more richer you can get if you can freely think. So if you're not thinking good things, then you know what? I don't want to say bad on you, but come on, it's you. Start thinking the good things. Take your can'ts, make them I cans, okay? And get to what you got to do. You need to dance, dance. You need to paint, paint. Who cares what the end result is? If you've never done it first, be silly. Go for it. Start getting that brush out with the paints or the oils, whatever. Make a mess. Because, from those beginnings, beautiful things happen. We've never really seen anything grow from whatever we look at and admire has come from a growth that we wouldn't have given the same admiration for in its beginnings. So again, when we look at something like a seed, it doesn't seem like much, right? But when we look at the end results, it's huge. So let's get those. Let's sow those good seeds. Here it's coming in. What you sow, you reap. What you're thinking about. It comes down to this simplicity too. Think about what you do want, not what you don't want. Again, it's worth repeating. Are you thinking about what you do want or what you don't want? I want to know what you want. You may not tell me in the comments, but I want you to ask yourself now, what do I want? Because you may be okay right now not asking yourself like that, and you may not be watching this video, but if you're watching this video and you're in that place because you know you're worth more, but somehow something's been keeping you back, well, it's time for an ass whooping. Again, get your thoughts in order. Take inventory of your thoughts. Keep them in the right place, and remember, we're not looking about how to justify why we can't do anything. We want to know that we can, and we want to strive in that direction. I never thought for a second that I would do a video until I thought that I could do a video, and here I am, and I want the same good results for you because you deserve that inner joy. You don't have to broadcast. I mean, YouTube, it seems like it's broadcasting because it is in that way, but this video is just me and me with the audience that I intended for, and that's you guys. I love you. You're worth it. So do think about what you do want, not what you don't want. Be in that place. What do you want? Part 2. First one's my very first video, and I'm very, very grateful because that started off this YouTube journey. And again, if you like it, if you feel it, thank you. And subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Check out my other content. Anyways, you know what? I'm just glad you're here. Have a good night. I hope your days to come always will be good, and work on them. Take them from level 1 to level 2. You got it in you. I know you do. Take care. Bye, people.